heard stories and conspiracy theories about child stars being abused and possibly passed around elite circles. And a lot of the times, if the story or the conspiracy theory is proven true, law enforcement sweeps in and the abusers face consequences. Now, this is all well and good, but is it closing the circle fully? Are the abusers the only ones who should face consequences? What about the parent? Today we are going to go over some celebrity parental rumors and conspiracy theories that have happened throughout the years where the parents may have known more about the abuse than they let on. Y'all know my disclaimer, I do not know what's true or false. I just find gossip and tea from online, books, magazines, word of mouth, anywhere I can find it, ball it up and tell you a story and put it in a video for you guys. Here we go. Now, to start off, let's talk about Brooke Shields in one of the most famous cases where a parent at least had some knowledge that their child was being abused in Hollywood. It was so obvious that Brooke's mom knew about the abuse that she allowed her 12-year-old daughter Brooke to star in a movie playing the role of a prostitute and be naked on screen while kissing a full-grown man. Now, this is crazy behavior, and it seems like at least somebody should have used a little bit of common sense. And people like to say all the time, well, it's just acting, but so, even though it was just acting, Brooke as a child was a real person who had to deal with real trauma due to being paraded on screen naked at a very early age and due to having a grown male paw her. And also, let's say we did use the excuse, oh, it's just acting. At least the studio should have cast an adult person in that 12-year-old role. They have no problem casting 30-year-olds for high school students nowadays. What was so wrong with finding an adult who looked like she was underage? That they could have at least done that. It was weird to have Brooke playing that role, and it was weird that her mother consented to that. And then, just to add some rumor and gossip about Brooke Shields, it's alleged that not only did her mother have her starring in inappropriate movie roles, there are some rumors alleging that her mama may have done a little bit of pimping. Like that whole trying to go home with Michael Jackson rumor that people always talk about with Brooke Shields. And then the rumor that adds a little bit more to that says she actually did go home with Michael Jackson and blew his doggone hair back because she was more experienced than what he was. Rumors and conspiracy theorists say this was possibly because Brooke possibly or allegedly had already been shipped out with several other wealthy men before this. And if that did happen to Brooke, well, it wouldn't be surprising because allegedly it also happened to Natalie Wood. And most of you guys already know this from the video that I did on Natalie Wood. Remember when I told y'all about how Natalie was around 14 to 15 years old and her mother would make her schedule meetings with these studio heads and big time managers, and then she would pick out really sexy clinging dress with like low cleavage area for Natalie to wear when she got to these meetings? And I'm not talking about meetings that were taking place at the studio or at the office or during the daytime or nothing like that. Baby, I'm talking about meetings that were happening 10, 11 o'clock at night or later at these men's houses. It's alleged Natalie's mother basically let these men know that they could do whatever they wanted to her daughter. Then what about Drew Barrymore? Now, there is no solid proof that Drew was molested per se, but it kind of seems almost clear that if somebody asked Drew's mother if they could spend a little time alone with Drew, she possibly would have allowed it. I mean, why else would you have your 5-year-old daughter at a club like Studio 54 where you know all kind of nasty and raunchy stuff goes on? Why else would you not monitor your child at all and basically let her get caught up with all of these bad characters, so much so that the girl is smoking weed already at like 10 years old, allegedly also was possibly doing cocaine at 10 years old, was doing so many drugs that the child was in rehab by the age of 14. Like, what's really going on? Most of the time when it's something like this going on with children, the first thing people ask, where are these people's parents? Where is this child's mother? Where was she? And one of the big stories that absolutely nobody pays attention to is the stories about Mariah Carey's sister, Alison Carey. Now, I'm not sure if Alison Carey is just a jealous liar or she's just kooky with conspiracy theories, but I know one thing. This lady has been saying for years that her mother, Patricia Carey, who is also Mariah's mother, was, and maybe even still is, who knows, involved with occult activities. Per Alison, and this is not verbatim because the story is very long, but if you look it up, you can read it for yourself. But anyways, per Alison, when she was very young, maybe around 5, 6, or 7, her mother Patricia used to wake her and her brother Morgan up in the middle of the night, put them in black hooded robes, and make them walk down a quiet street to a church that was maybe like a block away. She said once her and her brother got into this church, they were made to look on as other black hooded figures who were adults laid little tiny babies on altars and did some very crazy stuff, which I cannot repeat here. And per the story, these were rituals of the occult, allegedly. Now, from what I've seen, Alison has never given a reason as to why her mother did this to her and her brother Morgan. But people who are in the conspiracy theory groups, who allegedly do a lot of research on these type of subjects, have said that they believe that Alison and her brother Morgan were basically being sacrificed themselves, not in a deadly way, but kind of sacrificing their mental health and their physical health because they were subjected to viewing these trauma scenes very early on in life, which of course kind of affected them with trauma later on in life when they thought about it. And of course they went and got on drugs and it affected their health and all of this good stuff. So allegedly the conspiracy people feel like that Alison and her brother Morgan were sacrificed with their mental health, so Mariah Carey could come later on and become a star. I guess they're basically saying that the mother Patricia gave up her first 2 children so that her baby girl could be a surefire celebrity, I guess. But like I said, that's what the conspiracy theorists reason. Alison, once again, has never given a reason, but even though she never has given a reason as to why her mother did it, she definitely did and has said several times that her mother did do it. Now, take from this story what you will, but of course, majority people do not believe Alison, especially since her sister Mariah and her mother Patricia basically calls her a crazy jealous hag. Anytime Alison speaks out, they kind of ignore her, or if they do say something about her, they'll say something like, she's sick, she has mental problems, she's just going through a lot. But regardless of how many people don't believe Alison or how her mother and sister put her down, there is one person that has her back, and that is her brother Morgan, and he has corroborated details in Alison's story. And yes, if your mind is thinking back to the Joe Jackson video, yes, this is all in the same vein of what Darren Cuby said when he wrote that book about Joe Jackson. This is also in the same vein of what Bryce Taylor said about Bob Hope that I told y'all in his video. And take from that what you will. Let's move on. Now let's speak on a younger celebrity who pretty much kind of admitted that her mother kind of gave her over to Hollywood. And I'm talking about that young actress Jennette McCurdy, who played on the TV show iCarly. Rumor has it Jennette was so disturbed by what her mother did to her and what her mother allowed others to do to her that she wrote a book titled I'm Glad My Mom Died. Now what, child? What could a mother have done to make their child write something like that? Well, on top of Jennette saying that her mother verbally and mentally abused her a lot, she also talked about how her mom was pretty much cool with a big wig Hollywood pedograph having access to her. And yes, I know the real word, saying pedograph to play it safe. But anyway, Jennette tells certain stories, like the story she tells about the bigwig asking her to do a photo shoot in a bikini, which was very strange because nowhere in the show that she was starring on did she need to take any photos in a bikini. She also said things about how this bigwig forced her to give him massages as well. And Jennette goes on to say that when she told her mother about it, hoping that her mother would pull her away from the studio or at the very least go up to the studio and talk to somebody, her mother instead told her something to the effect of, yeah, well, darling, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. You have to do uncomfy things. But you know what? I think you should just grin and bear it. Because in reality, that's how you get ahead in this industry, Jennette. Ma'am. What? So once again, here's another mother allegedly, seemingly willing to let things happen to her child in order for her child to become a big star. Rumor has it Ginger Rogers was possibly another one who had a mother that kind of pushed her to go do some things. Allegedly, Ginger's mother taught her how to get to the casting couch, taught her the words to say and how to do things with her body to let the directors know that she was cool to be on the casting couch. As a matter of fact, we talk about Howard Hughes a lot on this channel. And a little bit of what I found through my research on Ginger Rogers was that Howard Hughes was way more than just the playboy type who liked to date Hollywood starlets like we all thought he was. Baby, they say that the real deal about Howard Hughes is that he was more like the Diddy type. The way that he would get these women, stash them up in high places and kind of keep them entrapped with a money trail, baby, it's something to talk about. But we'll get to that when we get to his video. And we're starting to wrap up this list, but allegedly Judy Garland was another one of these. Now, I knew that Judy Garland was abused. I even talked about it in her video, but what I didn't know is that allegedly her mother was allowing her to be abused. Like her mother had the attitude and mentality that, you know, well, you need to let these men do that to you, baby. That's the only way you're gonna be a star. So yeah, I didn't know that Judy Garland's mom, she was kind of pushing Judy to do some stuff like that. And throughout everything that we have discussed thus far, what's crazy about this whole situation, this whole subject matter, is that even if parents are innocent, even if parents are clueless about what is happening or what is going to happen to their children, why are they always so naive and so quick and loose to let their underage children go off with these big wigs by themselves? Like the whole R. Kelly situation. Like, what the heck was up with that? I mean, you had girls meeting him at concerts with their parents only for their parents to allow them 3 days later to take off with R. Kelly alone, talking about getting a singing career going. You had 16-year-old girls showing up at R. Kelly's pool parties, bikini parties, and stuff like that. It just, some of these situations, and like I said, I'm not saying that the parents knew, but it's probably was a little bit naive to sit up there and allow your underage child to do these things. I mean, even with Aaliyah, and y'all know I love Aaliyah to death, baby. You know, just back, forth, and forth. Y'all know I love her, honey. That was my queen. But anyways, like, even with her, like, y'all allowed this young, what was she, like 12, 13, 14 at the time? Y'all allowed her to go off with R. Kelly, touring with him and all of this kind of stuff. It's just, you know, sometimes people just need to use a little bit more common sense. And if you're uncomfortable with the situation, probably don't let it happen. And to be honest with you, another person whose story is a little bit strange is how Rihanna got on. Because if the story or the rumor is to be believed, you have a 15-year-old Rihanna in Barbados going to a hotel room at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm not sure if she was by herself or with some friends, but she definitely, allegedly, was not with any adult that she knew. So even if she did go with friends, everybody is underage. So allegedly, like I said, according to the story, a 15-year-old Rihanna at a hotel room at 3 a.m. auditioning for a stranger that was from America or Britain. He wasn't from Barbados. So allegedly, she goes to this hotel room at 3 a.m. to audition for this guy, Evan Rogers. According to him, as soon as he saw Rihanna, you know, she was drop dead gorgeous, looked like a model, he wanted her. He had to have her. So much so that allegedly he visits her mother the next day and tells her mother that he sees talent in Rihanna and he wants to turn Rihanna into a star, but she needs to get on a plane ASAP to go back overseas to his home with him. And according to the story, without too many questions asked, Rihanna's mama just responds, you know, well, shoot, if you see something in her, you know, you can do it. I just want to make sure that her homework is done, you know, and that she doesn't fail in school. But shoot, if you think she got talent, I mean, you can go on and take her. It just seems a little strange that people so loosely allow their underage children to just go off with these grown men and grown people. Either something don't add up or it just sounds strange. You gotta admit that. And I'm about to get off Rihanna. I swear I am, because honey, I know she got fans just like the Beehive, and I don't want y'all to rip me to shreds. But bear with me here, because I'm about to get off her, but I got one more thing to say. What's even more strange about this story is that you have this other man by the name of Andrew Lloyd Webber, who came out and basically said that he was the one that discovered Rihanna first. He was the first one to see Rihanna singing at a hotel in Barbados, and he was thinking about bringing her home with him. And in this man's words, I kid you not, I'm gonna put it up on the doggone screen. In this man's words, he said, well, I was gonna bring her back myself, but I kind of wondered, you know, what if I brought her back and it would kind of be like something like where you buy a picture when you're on holiday or vacation, you buy a picture and then you get home and you're looking at the picture like, why did I even buy this? Like, what is that to say about a human being? He basically was talking about Rihanna like she was a piece of furniture. And that's disturbing. But what's even more disturbing is the fact that he felt like he could so easily even take her from Barbados. You see what I'm saying? This man is talking about her like, well, you know, I was going to take her and bring her back with me, but, you know, I didn't really want to. Like Rihanna wasn't going to have no say in the situation. Do you see things kind of starting to add up a little bit? But let's move on. Y'all, there are so many stories and rumors and conspiracy theories regarding stories where parents allow things to happen to their children in order for them to get ahead in life. Matter of fact, one of the biggest conspiracy theories and rumors is JonBenet Ramsey. It is alleged in undercover shadowy circles that some people believe that her parents may have been that way. As a matter of fact, some conspiracy theories say that that is possibly how JonBenet Ramsey died. They allege that possibly her parents had allowed some things to happen and something went wrong in the middle of the night and this child lost her life. And according to these conspiracy theories who say these things, according to them, the rumor is that JonBenet Ramsey was supposed to be a big star as she got older. She was supposed to be like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, and all of that kind of stuff. So allegedly they were saying that her parents were letting a little stuff happen to ensure that their daughter would be one of these controlled celebrities. But that's all conspiracy, that's all rumor. Maybe people are just making up stories. Who knows? What I do want to say right before we end is this though. And honey, it's just a scandalous thing, child. But I'm done, y'all. This is just a subject that kind of crossed my mind and I was like, you know what? Let me kind of discuss this with my audience, see what y'all think. But anyways, I am Ashley with Ashley Says So. If you want to go get some merch, go to ashleysaysso.net. If you would like to buy me something from my Amazon gift wish list, the link is in the description. If you guys like this video, please like the video. If you guys are new here, please subscribe. If you guys have been sitting on the fence, please subscribe. I'll see you guys with another video soon. Bye.